Femi, we begin our Week 5 NFL betting sojourn across the pond in London with the Vikings and the Browns. Minnesota, 3.5-point favorite. Total in the game, 36.5. Minnesota going to be down 3/5 of its offensive line. Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, and Brian O'Neill. Andrew Van Ginkel out as well. Dylan Gabriel starts for the Browns. Jack Conklin questionable for Cleveland.
Yeah, and Minnesota's also going to be starting a third-string center. The backup to Ryan Kelly, also hurt, not going to be playing in the game. Like, this offensive line is in shambles, and because of that, I like Cleveland. I took 3.5 earlier in the week. I bet money line this morning at plus 175. I think the Browns just win the game outright. I want to lean into the extreme stuff with Dylan Gabriel, who I think if he's just serviceable, Cleveland can win. Because Carson Wentz behind a banged-up O-line against Myles Garrett with how this defense has been playing, best defense in the league damn near, I like Cleveland to get it done. It sounds a little bit weird to back Gabriel in his first start, but I think they've pulled it off. So give me the Browns plus 3.5 and on the money line.
I am not as confident as you are in this bet, but I did take 4.5 with the Browns earlier this week, so I'm on Cleveland as well. Let's go Brownies in London.
Let's go Brownies.
All right. Colts and the Raiders, Femi, in Indianapolis. Indy holding as a 7-point favorite. Total is 48. The juice is towards Las Vegas. It feels to me like Brock Bowers is not playing. Pete Carroll says he's going to play. Bowers told the media that he feels like he doesn't want to play until he has full explosion and he doesn't have it. So I think like, okay, like we can go with what Pete Carroll says. It feels like we're not going to know until Sunday, 90 minutes before kickoff. So we'll see about Brock Bowers. Alec Pierce is out for the Colts. We think A.D. Mitchell will start at outside wide receiver. We'll see. And Colts star slot corner Kenny Moore is out. And Tyler Morales missed an important note on the injury stuff here. Xavier Howard retired earlier this week. That is something that should have made the Tyler Morales injury notes. But that's okay, Tyler. I'm still operating at a high capacity here. That's okay.
According to Tyler, that's sort of been baked into the number, I guess. we don't need to mention that Xavier Howard decided to walk away from football. I'll say this about the Pete Carroll thing, like having covered Pete Carroll when I was up in Seattle working, like that dude is positive Pete. So the injury news with him, you always have to take it with a grain of salt. Like the guy could be coming off a torn Achilles a week prior and says he has a chance to go on Sunday. That's kind of how things roll. So like this is legitimately a game time decision. I'm already invested in on the Raiders at plus 7. That's the bet that I'm going to ride with. If Bowers is out, it's a bummer, but I've already made the bet. I'm not looking to buy out. If Bowers ever plays in the game, even if he's at like 75, 80%, I do think the Raiders can somewhat keep this close. Indy's going to win, but I think this is just a little bit too big of a number for Indianapolis, so I'm on the Raiders.
I did bet the Raiders earlier in the week. I may buy out of it. If Bowers is not going to play, and Colton Miller. Also, Colton Miller's on IR. That didn't make the Tyler Morales injury report either. I'm calling it right now. Tyler Morales will not win Nick Costos' money this week. We need a better effort, Tyler. If you're going to do the injury reports and you're going to tout yourself as being like the male Stephania Bell, we need better. We need better.
The male Stephania Bell.
I'm going to, congratulations to her on her extension with ESPN. She does a great job.
Yes.
I may buy out of my Raiders bet, not feeling confident in it at the moment. We move on to the Saints and the Giants from the Superdome in Louisiana. New Orleans, a 2-point home favorite, total 42. Dexter Lawrence, another DMP today. He's suffering from an illness. Brian Dable did say that he expects Lawrence to play. That also did not make Tyler's injury notes. Cesar Ruiz is out for the Saints on their offensive line. Chase Young is out. Femi, how are you betting the Saints and the Giants?
Yeah, I'm not betting this game, at least not as of now. Let's make sure Lawrence is good to go. I'm assuming he's going to play with dealing with an illness there, but I think the best unit in this game is this Giants defense. And that defensive line, I think it have its way against a bad old line in New Orleans. Spencer Rattler's never won a game. If I had to bet it, it would be Giants at plus money on the money line. I might get there this weekend, not there just yet.
I want to figure it out this weekend, what I want to do here. I think the Giants fan in me may win out, and I may end up betting the Giants. But maybe not.
It's never
I got my show on my show on the Fan on Sunday morning, and then the show with Sammy, and I'll figure it out then. But leaning at the moment towards my New York Football Giants. You bet on this phenomenal football Friday. Nick Costos, Femi, a bet buffet. Our bets coming up for Week 5 in the NFL. All right. Let's go to the Jersey Meadowlands, Femi, where your team, the Dallas Cowboys, visits the 0-4 Jets. Dallas down to a 1.5-point road favorite, total 47.5. Bad injury report for Dallas. Tyler Booker and Tyler Guyton both out. So is Cooper Beebe. CeeDee Lamb out. Kevontae Turpin out. Malik Hooker out. Tyler Smith questionable. The Cowboys could be down 4 starters, Femi, on the offensive line. And I said this a couple days ago. I like the Jets. I bet plus 2.5. I bet money line. Give me gangrene on Sunday against your Cowboys.
If Tyler Smith plays, I'm not going to bet the game. If he's out, I think it's just an avalanche, and this offensive line has no chance. The Jets' defense isn't good, but you cannot be out there with 4 backups protecting Dak Prescott. That does not sound like a good scenario with already CeeDee Lamb and now Kevontae Turpin not playing in the game. So if Tyler Smith is in, no bet. If Tyler Smith is out, I will be betting Jets money line at plus 105 or at some kind of plus money price. But right now, we're holding steady. Let's just see the actives and inactives 90 minutes prior to kickoff.
All right, so I'm on the Jets. Femi, maybe Jets, but maybe not, depending on the actives and inactives in the game. Fascinating betting game here in Philadelphia, where there was finally a move towards the Eagles today, up from minus 3.5, now sitting at minus 4. Feels like the Broncos have been a very popular pick in betting content, which sounds like I'm making fun of it. I really don't mean to do that, just like everyone likes the Broncos this week. I don't, but everyone likes Denver. Total in the game is 43.5. Pretty clean injury report, Femi, for both teams.
Yeah, that's why you saw the movement. Lane Johnson, all good to go. Jalen Carter, all good to go. Philadelphia Eagles, all good to go. They got my money. I laid 3.5. I actually still think there's value at 4. I think this should be closer in that 6-ish range. I might be the crazy person here. I'm just that low on Denver or maybe that high on Philadelphia. Maybe it's a combination of the two. I just have not seen Bo Nix play well and beat a contending team. The only team that he's done that against was the Chiefs' backups last year, and we all know that they're resting. Whenever they play the Bills, all the other contenders, the Ravens, etc., they got destroyed. The Eagles are the Super Bowl champions. I think Fangio puts the clamps on this offense. I think the Eagles win this one by a touchdown. Favorite bet of the week, Philadelphia laying 3.5. I still like it at 4.
So I want to hold true to what I've said this week, that I think the Eagles are this year's Kansas City Chiefs, in that I think they're going to win a million games. I don't know if they're going to cover big numbers, and not that this is a big number. 4. If you lay 4, you need them to win by 6 or 7. It's not a small number. Maybe Denver covers. Maybe. I don't think the Broncos win the game. So if I had to bet the side, I'd lay Philly. What's Philly's money line price right now? Let's see. Eagles are.
I'm saying best that you can find is probably minus 210.
Yeah.
There's a minus 198 that's out there.
Let's see. Just at BetMGM, if I wanted to pair the Eagles, let's say, how about this? Eagles with Yankees to win the series against Toronto, plus 140. I don't hate that. What about the Eagles and the Cardinals money line? That's minus 125. I'm going to figure out some ways to play Eagles money line. Maybe they cover, maybe they don't. I would only bet the Eagles, but I do think the Eagles are going to win. I think they're this year's version of the Kansas City Chiefs. We move on to the Dolphins and the Panthers in Carolina. Miami, about a 1-point road favorite, total 44.5. See, Tyler's adjusting. He put in the notes that Tyreek Hill's out for the season. That's a good job by Tyler, who is editing on the fly. Storm Duck continues to be out for Miami. Chuba Hubbard's out for Carolina, so it'll be Rico Dowdle and Travis's brother, seriously, Trevor Etienne, as Carolina's running backs.
I don't know what to do with this game. I think it's a pick'em game. You're around that price. Should Miami get credit to being favored over anybody on the road? Maybe not, but Carolina might be the worst team in the league. I think that everything is working properly here. I bless the hearts of those who are betting this game and have a strong opinion. I do not. I think these are both two terrible teams. We'll watch it as a fact-finding mission, but no bet for me.
Yeah, I think this is probably a pass for me as well. If I had to do anything, maybe under 44.5, but I'll finalize any plays that I have on Sunday. All right, Texans and the Ravens. A lot going on here, obviously. Houston, 1.5-point road favorites. Total sitting at 40.5. All right, so this is going to take a little bit for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson officially out. Cooper Rush will start. Chidobe Awuzie, Marlon Humphrey, Patrick Ricard, Roquan Smith are all out. Kyle Hamilton, Odafe Owe, Ronnie Stanley, and Tez Walker, all questionable for the Ravens. I'm guessing this means, Tyler, that Nate Wiggins is playing, which is a big deal. And Nnamdi Madubuike out for the season for Baltimore. And Broderick Washington's on IR. Tyler forgot those. Pretty clean injury report, Femi, for the Texans. How are you betting this game?
So we talk about fallen hero spots on the show quite a bit, and this is obviously multiple heroes that we have for the Baltimore Ravens. But with that said,
this is like Thanos killed the Avengers. That's what this is.
But Derrick Henry's still there for whatever it's worth come Sunday. I do like Baltimore. The more I've thought about this game throughout the week, like early on, I was like, man, this might be too many guys that are hurt. At some point, it becomes to be too much in terms of the adjustment. And this was supposed to be 9.5, and yeah, it goes down to 6.5, and now we go all the way out to Houston -2.5. I'm expecting that we hang out here pending a really, really bad active and inactive list for the Ravens 90 minutes prior to kickoff. Like if Hamilton's out, we're going to 2.5 probably, and the rest of those guys. Like that's going to be bad. But if those guys play, I actually think that they should be a pick. And at plus money price, I'm going to back the Baltimore Ravens against a dreadful Texans team. And I say that as somebody who was high on Houston going into this season. I'm dead wrong on the Texans. This team sucks, and I would not trust them at a minus price against anyone in the league on the road. So I'm back in Baltimore. I just want to make sure that we get a good injury report 90 minutes prior to kickoff.
You would take them at the Titans. I'll speak for you when I say that. Just like in case people are like, well, what about Tennessee? Yes, Tennessee, because they're terrible.
Yeah, like I said, that never happened yet.
If Hamilton, Owe, Stanley, miss, you can make a case that the Baltimore Ravens are the worst team in the league. Probably not as bad as Tennessee just because Brian Callahan might be the worst coach ever, but they might be 31 out of 32. If all the guys that are questionable are out, in addition to the guys that are actually out. And if that's the case, I want to bet Houston. But to Femi's point, if these guys all play, we got to consider Baltimore. I said to Femi off air today during a commercial break, I think this game is going to provide one of the best betting opportunities of the season. We're just not going to know what it is until 90 minutes before kickoff when the injury report comes out. Let's get back to Week 5 in the National Football League. And Femi, we pick up in the 4 o'clock slate with the Cardinals and the Titans in the desert. Arizona 7.5-point favorite, total 41.5. Calvin Ridley did get a practice in today. He's questionable. J.C. Latham out again. Tyjae Spears might make his season debut. We'll talk more about that coming up on Sunday. Will Johnson questionable for Arizona.
Yeah, I think if I had to bet this game, I'd actually lay the points with Arizona. And if it ever gets to 7 minus 110, I think I actually will do that. It can never be Tennessee. I'm not doing this train that where they never cover 3-18 ATS with Brian Callahan as the head coach. It's Cardinals or pass. Let's see where the market goes. 7.5, nothing to do. 7 minus 110, I will bet the Cardinals.
Bill is producing in the chat right now, asking Jake to bring the music up. Now he's just stunting on everybody. He's already won the money, and he's still performing well.
Flexing.
This is, to me, it's either lay. Honestly, I'm going to put some teasers in with Arizona tonight. Get the Cardinals down to minus 1.5 against Brian Callahan.
I like that.
Bucks and the Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle, a 3.5-point home favorite, total 44.5. Mike Evans, Bucky Irving, and Jamel Dean all out for Tampa. But Devin Witherspoon, DeMarcus Lawrence out for Seattle. Femi, how are we betting the Seahawks and the Bucks?
Yeah, this is one of those CLV trophies, I guess it's going to be. I bet Seattle laying the 2.5 Sunday night. Texted you guys about that when we're looking at some of the lines for Week 5. I like Seattle at 3. Those are no longer available. At current price, I think we're just right with all the injuries on Tampa. But 2.5 out to 3.5, let's see how this goes. But I'm on Seattle. But at current price, I'd pass the game.
I'm considering betting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I want to think more about it into the weekend. It's not Seattle for me, and I love Seattle. It's not Seattle for me at this price. It's Tampa or nothing, so I have to decide if it is Tampa or nothing. Lions and the Bengals in Cincinnati. Femi, it looks like the Bengals are starting to draw some betting interest with the number at 10.5. That number is juiced towards Cincinnati right now. The total is 49.5. Shamar Stewart out for Cincinnati, but for Detroit, Aleem McNeil is out. Taylor Decker questionable, Kirby Joseph questionable, and Detroit's secondary not in good shape heading into this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, DJ Reed was placed on IR earlier this week. That's another one that Tyler did not throw there in the chat for you.
I was going to say,
DJ
in my head,
Reed
I'm like, I know something else happened,
yes.
And like that's why I felt like,
yep.
And I couldn't think of who it was.
Oh, yeah, now you don't have to give him $5. I think
I'll tell you what,
that.
Tyler, with the way these injury reports have been going, you need to leave no doubt by the time we get to Friday at 6 o'clock to win my money next week.
But I think for this one, it's Bengals or pass. I want to see the actives and inactives, but I think I'm actually going to bet Cincinnati come Sunday. Like, this will be an afternoon bet Sunday for me once we get those during the witching hour for the late games. 10.5 is just a little bit too much. And I know Detroit's much, much better, and the Bengals been blown out. I just like the aspect of getting a team that's been embarrassed 2 straight weeks when their only strength might be the wide receivers against that Lions secondary that's banged up. I like that matchup. So give me Cincinnati, but I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to bet it, until we get to the actives and inactives.
I think if you like Cincinnati, you should bet the over, because I think the Lions are going to score 1 million points in this game. If it gets to 10, I'll consider betting Detroit, maybe a Lions team total over. We'll talk about it more on Sunday. Chargers hosting the Commanders in Los Angeles. LA close to being a 3.5-point home favorite, 3 minus 15 at MGM. Total of the game is 47. Joe Alt is out. Mekhi Becton is questionable. This is a banged-up Chargers offensive line. Jaden Daniels is back and starting for Washington, but he's without 2 of his top 3 receivers, Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown. We think Deebo Samuel plays, Femi, for the Commanders.
Yeah, it's a bet on the Commanders, +3 for me. I also bet some Commanders money line at +140 because it just feels like this game could go either way. And I like the aspect of getting Jaden Daniels to win a football game. It gets a really good Chargers team. I understand that, but a Chargers team that's really banged up on that offensive line. Like, they've struggled to run the ball. Now that both tackles are out, like, maybe the Commanders can actually put some pressure on Justin Herbert. And if you just give Daniels enough guys with Deebo Samuel out there, McCaffrey's actually been playing pretty well for the Commanders as well, I think they can put up enough points to hang with the Chargers. So give me the Commanders +3. I also have some money line at +140.
You're lucky you're not eligible for this because you're the worst time manager of all time. You would not win Nick Costos' money. Commanders are a bet for me in this. I just need to figure out if it's 3.5, 3 or money line on Sunday. And we close on Sunday Night Football. Bills an 8-point home favorite against the Patriots, total 49.5. We think Ed Oliver and Matt Milano are back for the Bills. Milton Williams added to the injury report yesterday for the Patriots. Femi, that is a big deal.
Yes, and I think this number is just right. Like, now that these guys are all good to go and everyone's good, no bet for me. I think New England maybe could be frisky, but it's just a pass. I'll just watch the game and have fun and root for Josh Allen to put up big points.
And he will. I like teasing Buffalo down to -2, and my favorite side bet of the week, I think Buffalo wins this game by double digits. So I'm laying the Bills -8 and Bills teaser legs. Let's call it Bills Arizona as my teaser leg coming up on Sunday. I had teaser legs with the Rams that unfortunately they couldn't even cover teaser legs that died last night.
Teasers, Survivor.
All right. Yeah, it's not great.